Hello to my fellow curious minds. Welcome back. This is Anand here, and you are watching Journey of a Curious Mind. I hope you enjoyed the last episode, Understanding the State of Astrology. In this video is about the recap of that episode, and also I'll try to explain better of how I am connecting those topics that I discussed in the last episode to astrology. So because I got the feedback from the last episode that some of them are not able to understand how I am connecting these topics to astrology. So last episode it is about I'm trying to set the stage for understanding my perspective on astrology. So for that I was discussing about three topics. One is flatland thought experiment, second is Occam's razor, third is quantum mechanics. So the flatland thought experiments, through that we can understand that how it is possible to observe certain things that we cannot explain within the laws of science. That is, we can consider these observations as spooky observations, spooky behavior, like in quantum mechanics we have. So this next we discussed about Occam's razor. This principle states that we can have a simplest explanation which, unless proved wrong, could be the most probable one for such spooky observations. So this simplest explanation could make those spooky observation doesn't look spooky anymore, because it makes this explanation does fall within our grasp of understanding of science. So yeah, and then we saw quantum mechanics similar to flatland experiment. This is when these quantum principles were initially proposed, it is beyond our current understanding of our universe. So Einstein, applying Occam's razor, came up with the simplest explanation for those principles, to which makes this strange quantum behavior to fall within our understanding of science. But later the other scientists were able to prove Einstein explanation wrong. So here we can see that the quantum observations are itself real, but the explanation for how it is working does not fall within our grasp. Similarly, in astrology, the explanation for how it is working, it is not within the framework of science we know. But unlike quantum mechanics, the problem in astrology, the observations, which is proved real through scientific experiments in quantum mechanics, here the problem is the observations, that is the predictions, which we call as observations in astrology now, are not consistent. So the astrology observations are not consistent. So but see, the explanation that people give for astrology is not within the grasp of science. How can planet influence human life? So yeah, that's why I'm taking the quantum mechanics and astrology here. We to compare and contrast, we have unexplainable observations in quantum, and similarly we have unexplainable explainable concepts in astrology. But the observations in quantum are proved real through scientific experiments, but observations in astrology are not proved real through scientific experiments. It is inconsistent. The observations are not consistent. So hence we are paving the way for simplest explanation for astrology, like statistics and coincidences. But the simplest explanation for quantum mechanics does not stand true. I mean, Einstein, when he came up with this simple explanation, it was proved wrong because the quantum observation does not go well with this explanation. So here in astrology, the simplest explanation is statistics and coincidences. So this explanation is going so well for now because the observations itself are not consistent, the predictions itself are not consistent. So some of us, we think that astrology is very consistent. Some of us are not, and we saw how it is because of the biased mindset in the first episode. And some of us are in the shoes of Square from flatland experiment, and some of us are in the shoes of his friends who did not observe, who did not go through the same experience as Square did. So similar to quantum mechanics, if you are able to establish the consistency and correctness of astrological observations through scientific experiments, we can then eliminate the simplest explanation for astrology. So that we can start looking for scientific root cause for such consistent, correct observations in astrology. I want to help Square come up with an approach to establish the correctness and consistent behavior of astrology. I hope it is clear now why I am using these topics to connect with astrology, and I'm trying to convey my perspective on astrology through these topics. Thank you for watching the video.